Here is AOC on Jake Tapper's program last night.
And Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York joins me now in the studio. Congresswoman, thanks so much for being here. So on social media, you've been urging people to call their senators, tell them to vote no on cloture, which allows the bill to go forward for a vote of just a simple majority, and to vote no on the vote for a simple majority on the Republican bill. What do you say to the counter argument of, like, a government shutdown hurts the country, hurts the people you represent from Queens and the Bronx?
Absolutely, and that is why House Democrats have laid out a plan, as well as several Senate Democrats laid out a plan to keep government open for another 30 days as Republicans negotiate a deal with Democrats in order to have an extended government funding bill.
But the House would have to come back into session, right?
But House Democrats are in town. We're afraid of working? Is that the problem here? That the idea that, God forbid, members of Congress have to fly back and do their jobs? Okay. Genuinely, come on.
So Chuck Schumer, I guess, the Senate Democratic leader, your senator.
Pause it for a second. I just want you to contemplate, let's just stay here. Jake Tapper's actually bringing up, Mike Johnson specifically sent Republicans home as a way of creating leverage. And Tapper just swallows that as if it's wait a second. Understand, how many people in this country are on call by Walmart to come in for a shift that they're not aware of at any point? The idea that
it is a legitimate,
it is a legitimate sort of a dynamic in our government that we have a crisis, in terms of the budget, which of course was orchestrated. They could have dealt with this 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago. They knew they set the date, and people have left town. Are you really suggesting you're going to vote against this when some people might have to fly back?
And just a really good look for her to be able to say that and make that case that she wants to do her job.
You'd be laughing in his face.
And let me just be a bit of a political nerd for a sec. What she did yesterday was expertly done. After this appearance, there was a CNN article that came out that basically previews that she is going to primary Chuck Schumer if he doesn't resign. And we'd been wondering what she's setting herself up for. Is she going to try to run for president? It seems clear she's going to try to run for Senate. And what was included in that article was how many centrist House Democrats are urging her to do that because of how unhappy they are with the lack of fight in the Senate when they're up for re-election every 2 years, putting themselves on the line with votes, trying to oppose the Republicans and doing so. And when the Senate turns around and they have no risk except, from their donors, and they throw them under the bus. So she's developing a political kind of, she's getting the backing of her House colleagues in this effort. And this was coordinated yesterday.
Evan says on the IM, 2 senators called. Seriously easier than I thought. Just left a message. Very easy to do. Let's continue.
Chuck Schumer, I guess, the Senate Democratic leader, your senator, said at this meeting that he is going to vote for cloture. He is going to vote to allow there to be a simple majority vote. You think that's wrong?
I believe that's a tremendous mistake. Yes.
Why?
I think, well, first and foremost, the American people, if anyone has held a town hall or has seen what has been happening in town halls, American people, whether they are Republicans, independents, Democrats, are up in arms about Elon Musk and the actual gutting of federal agencies across the board. This continuing resolution codifies much of this chaos that Elon Musk is wreaking havoc on the federal government. It codifies many of those changes. It sacrifices and completely eliminates congressional authority in order to review these impulsive Trump tariffs that he's switching on and off. And on top of that, for folks who are concerned about effectiveness in government, this Republican extreme spending bill removes all of the guardrails and all of the accountability measures to ensure that money is being spent in the way that Congress has directed for it to be spent. This turns the federal government into a slush fund for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. It sacrifices congressional authority, and it is deeply partisan. And so to me, it is almost unthinkable why Senate Democrats would vote to hand the few pieces of leverage that we have away for free when we've been sent here to protect Social Security, protect Medicaid, and protect Medicare.
You have.
Should also add, in this bill, there is a provision that would prevent Republicans from having to vote on Trump's tariffs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she says that later in the interview. She brings that up, yeah.
Do we have it? You want to play it?
I'm not sure if I included it in the excerpts I sent. It's okay.
There would have been an obligation for the Republicans to sign off on these tariffs.
Yeah.
So the Republicans know this is a way to basically disarm any potential sort of like vote that they have to take that might be damaging to them in 2026. I mean, it's just fascinating to see how much Chuck Schumer is giving away, politically speaking.
Did you hear, this is just, I thought you'd appreciate this. She said the Republican extreme spending bill. Another Democrat would have come out and called it MAGA,
Right.
Trumpy. She was so
She understands who she's going to have to run against.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get it, but like she's also just a very disciplined interview and like what was on message the entire time. Do we have that second part where she's asked explicitly about the Schumer primary? Do you want to play that?
Yep.
Yeah. People should watch this whole interview if they get a chance. It's like very juicy.
The job Democratic leaders are doing, not just Senate Democratic leaders, but also Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, your fellow New Yorker, in terms of standing up to Trump?
Well, when we look at this vote around this government funding bill that we saw this week, Leader Hakeem Jeffries was able to keep the entire House Democratic caucus united and together.
Except for Terry Golden.
Right.
Except for
Every
one.
single House Democrat, including every single House Democrat who won a Trump district, except for one out of over 200, voted against this deeply partisan, extreme Republican spending bill, not just because they're Democrats, but because they know it's bad for the country. Mm-hmm. This bill is bad for the country. And so I think that in terms of Democratic leadership in the House, we've seen that result in the House. I think it's time that we see similar results in the Senate.
Would you, what do you think of the job that Chuck Schumer is doing? Would you ever challenge him, do you think?
I think that what we need right now is a united Senate Democratic caucus that can stand up for this country and not vote for cloture and not vote for this bill. And I think that the strength that we have is in this moment. Reconciliation and all of these, Republicans do not need Democratic votes for that. They need it for this. And so the strength of our leadership in this moment is going to demonstrate the strength of our caucus. And I cannot urge enough how bad of an idea it is to empower and enable Donald Trump and Elon Musk in this moment. It is dangerous and it is reckless.
Well, you just talked about the strength of your leadership. Chuck Schumer just said that he's going to vote for cloture. Not only the Democrats can do it, but he's going to participate in it. Does that mean that you think he's a weak Senate leader?
I think that that would be a mistake, but we have time between now and tomorrow, and I hope that individuals that are considering that reconsider it. I genuinely do. I don't think it's what New Yorkers want. I don't think it's what the country wants. This is genuinely not about Democrats or Republicans. This is about deep cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. This is about the evisceration of the federal government. This is about codifying the looting that is happening at the behest of Elon Musk in order to pay for his tax breaks for billionaires. And we have a responsibility to stand up for it. That is why people elected us, and that is our responsibility to them right now.
All right.
I'm just looking, Jake Sherman, Politico?
Punch Bowl.
Punch Bowl. Question for Leader Jeffries. Is it time for new leadership in the Senate? What do you think Jeffries says?
I don't think it's time to have that argument right now, but I do think that many members are very happy. Okay, I'm not looking at the screen. That's my guess.
Here's his next question. He offers zero support for Chuck Schumer. That's real.
That's what Joe Biden would call daylight.
Well, the Pass the Torch Joe little people were retweeting me, criticizing Schumer. They formally called on him to step aside. The I just want to read this quote that I was alluding to earlier, that a member said that Democrats were, quote, so mad that even centrist Democrats were, quote, ready to write checks for AOC for Senate. This was the article that came out yesterday about her potentially primarying him. And now 50 House Democrats have written a letter criticizing Schumer's decision. Nancy Pelosi just came out and criticized Schumer. Now Jeffries says next question. I don't think it's, and this is a fluid situation, but it's not out of the realm of possibility right now that this is the end of Chuck Schumer's ability to lead the Democrats in the Senate, and that they open this up to maybe younger people, someone like Chris Murphy who can communicate and do partisanship, someone like Michael Bennet, who I would think, would be an option. Klobuchar is probably next in line, but I do not think she would be a good choice. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know how he can withstand this. For 4 more years, no.
This may not be the end of him, but it's probably the beginning of the end of him. He is not going to enjoy that book tour.
Well, insure it. If you are in any of the areas I listed, Baltimore.
Oh, don't plan to go. Go see if you can get a ticket now.
It's like $40, $45.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
the Baileys.
Well, there's a special
guest. The thing I love about the Baileys is they always pay to go to book tours.
They're upper
That
middle
is one
class.
one of the things that they really do. They love to read. And they love to pay to go see a book tour.
Do you know who his special guest is at the New York City book tour stop? Why don't you guess?
Oh, well, I already know who.
Oh,
it is.
damn it!
Of course, it's Richie Torres.
It is Richie Torres.
Yes, one of the things the Baileys say is that, one, I want to pay a lot of money to see a book tour because it's so worth it. We love a book tour. And then one of their biggest draws, of course, is Richie Torres.
I love Richie.
Everybody loves Richie.
Everybody.
And he is, excuse me, I can't read the
Bailey
papers. And they love it. We have a breaking clip of Chuck Schumer now. Will you pull up that clip
yes.
without the and here he is. He's on the steps, and he's cheering. Keep the audio down there. Ready? Yeah, there he is. He's yelling, "We will capitulate.
We will go on vacation.
Sailing.
We will capitulate.
Bailey coin. Bailey coin.
We will capitulate. We will capitulate. We will capitulate.
Buy my book.
Buy my book. Buy my book." God. Oh, I gotta take a break. I gotta walk away now. Buy my book.
Oh God, that freeze frame! Look at him. Look at him. Just put it up real quick.
Gold Rush John.
Oh my God.
Gold Rush John says that Schumer's new book is selling for $10 million per copy. We didn't do great on the actual volume, but I will tell you, we made a lot of money.
Quality over quantity.
Yep.
Jeffries, we are not afraid of a government funding showdown, and we will win that showdown, is what he's saying today. Right?
Well, we will not. We will not have that showdown. We will not have that showdown. We will not have that showdown. We will, Liz Cheney, why are you so aroused right now, Sam? Tim Pool's plunger, the last thing Schumer did with his majority seat before Trump came in was push through a bill targeting Palestinian protesters, or Palestine protesters. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.